Hello there everyone, welcome to another Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race C race and strategy guide. It's another one where there's a little bit of a cheek to call it a strategy guide. Let's just call it a Daily Race C preview. We're off to Daytona Road Course once again for the 5th time in Gran Turismo 7's Daily Race C lifespan, which makes it the joint top most used location along with the Nürburgring Nordschleife. But given that this actually is the 5th time we've went round the Daytona Road Course, and at least the Nürburgring splits it up between the Nordschleife and the GP circuit, it does make it the most used track in the game for Daily Race C. We've got 10 laps to get round, we're in the Group 4 machinery, we have just the racing hard tyres available, there's no mandatory rules as far as we are aware at this point in terms of pit stops or tyres. BOP is on, it's a high speed BOP as you would expect, damage is light, it's a rolling start, and slipstream is real. We'll get to the strategy, or therefore the lack of it, in just a minute, but the first thing I do want to cover in this one is the car selection. Now I've done a test of 12 of the cars that I think might be the most competitive. I have tested their top speed at the start finish line, and we can also take a look at the sector 5 time as we come from just after the bus stop chicane all the way down to the finish line. So of course with this track, top speed and top end is going to be incredibly important to a car being competitive around here. The first one we're taking a look at was my favourite car from last week's Daily Race C. It's the Aston Martin Vantage. As we cross the start finish line, it's 154 miles an hour and their sector 5 time is 23 seconds .948. Moving on to the Ferrari 458, 157 miles an hour, 23.794. This is my pick for probably the most popular car this week, certainly in the race. Next up we've got the Lamborghini Huracan, 156 at the start finish line, 23.871. So all three cars we've taken a look at so far within a couple of tenths of each other, but the Ferrari at 157 with the greater top end. The McLaren 650S 156, same as the Lamborghini, but a very good sector time, 23.781. Does the chest, it's got pretty good acceleration. I expect this is maybe going to be a usable car. Toyota Supra 155, 23.913. Not too bad in the grand scheme of things, but I think probably not going to see too many of the Toyota Supras about in this one, despite Toyota being PD's number one choice. The Nissan Silvia, you've been waiting for this one. 155 miles an hour, not the greatest top end, but 23.722 is a very good sector 5 time, which does suggest its acceleration, which we know is very potent, has helped it in that regard. Last time we visited Daytona in the Group 4 cars, it was the Nissan GTR, that was the daddy, but not this time, not by a long shot. 153, well down on the top end, and 24.062, absolutely nowhere. 154 for the Porsche Cayman, 24.131 means we're not going to be in the Porsche Cayman this week. I think that's fairly certain. This is the one that's going to be a little bit of a dark horse, the Bugatti Veyron, 159 miles an hour, easily at the fastest, and 23.467, 3 tenths faster than any other car through that sector 5. However, it's a lumbering beast, and it probably will lose a good bit of lap time in comparison in that middle sector. But if you've got a Bugatti Veyron in your race, it's going to be an absolute monster on that final sector once you leave the bus stop chicane. I do expect that car to be quite strong in qualifying, as the aliens managed to just coax it around that middle sector and then use all that top end. Ford Mustang 153, 24.127, not at the races. Jaguar F-Type 155 miles per hour, 23.896. Not too shabby at all for the Jaguar, but I don't expect you'll see too many of them this week. And finally, I think it's the final car we tested, is the Dodge Viper 154, 23.991. Again, not too far off the majority of cars, but I just don't think it's going to be a car you're going to see too many of. Having done the testing on the cars, my kind of pick out of what we took a look at was the Ferrari 458. Good top speed, nice car to drive, and yeah, it's a Ferrari, so you know, the Ferrari 458 has been quite strong in Group 4 for quite a wee while now, and yeah, I do expect it to be a very, very popular race car in this one, because it's just got everything you need for this track. So moving on to just take a look at the strategy, just mention it in passing. They've only got the hard tyres available. It's going to be a no-stop strategy for this one. There's going to be absolutely no concern on the tyres or the fuel either. So a pure sprint, to say the least. You know, the tyre wear there is the same as we had at Grand Valley, but it's probably about 50% less compared to Grand Valley, despite being the same settings. Just the nature of the track. Grand Valley had a lot more corners to kind of work those tyres a bit more. So yeah, very much a sprint. This one, no stop strategy, no tyre or fuel concerns whatsoever. I'm going to come up here to complete lap 10, and we'll take a wee look at the finishing time, just to get a rough idea as into how long you're going to be racing in this one. And it's going to come in at around about 19 minutes 20 seconds, or 19 and a half minutes, so fairly good length of daily race C. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It wasn't really a lot I could do to offer you here very much in terms of strategy, so we kind of focused on spending some time in an online lobby with all the cars, testing that top end over the start finish line and how they compared on that fifth sector, which is, you know, it's Daytona, so it's all about that final part of the circuit, down through the bus stop and then all the way down to the start finish line. I'm disappointed that we're heading to Daytona once again. Nothing against the track whatsoever. Last time we visited here in Group 4, it was a lot of fun, the racing. But yeah, we've been here, we've done this before. We put the community post out during the week there, where we kind of highlighted, you know, all the tracks that have never been used so far in Daily Race C, and even some of the tracks that have only been used once, you know, like Interlagos or Laguna Seca. So there's just so much more variety out there for PD to use. And again, last time we visited here in the Group 4 cars, it was a no-stop sprint race, so we've not even tried to mix it up in the slightest way by maybe giving us a pit stop or a mandatory pit stop or fuel to worry about, or just something that kind of makes it feel a little bit different. It's just that no-stop sprint. And as I said, yeah, it's going to be good fun. It's going to be about slipstreaming. It's going to be about being in the right car. It's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be spinning and stuff. But yeah, you know, come on PD, mix it up a little bit. You know, you've got the potential to do so much more with this game than I feel you are doing. But anyway, let's finish off with a lap guide. Ferrari 458, it's a 1 minute 54.829. Coming into turn 1, you're looking for the double yellow line there on the left hand side. That's your reference. If you brake beyond that, you are taking a big risk of running a little bit wide, getting out in the marbles, trail braking down through the gears nice and gently, in control, into turn 1, and you're looking to just get the car rotated at the tyre barrier, just so you can get on the throttle as early as possible. The next corner here, I'm looking at the sort of extra bit of tarmac on the right hand side there. Sort of around about the beginning of that is where I'm thinking of braking. This is a corner you won't take too many risks with. It's a very easy corner to just brake a little bit too deep, and for whatever reason you go flying off the track a lot more than you might expect. So do proceed into that one with a little bit of caution. It's just very easy to go wide and really entirely ruin your race. Coming up to the next hairpin, you're looking for again that little stretch of tarmac on the left hand side there. Around about halfway down that is about as late as you can brake. Again, you're just trying to, you know, judge how deep into that piece of tarmac can you get on the brakes, still get the car rotated, get it into the apex. We didn't do a brilliant job there, to be fair, didn't quite meet the apex, but got on the power nice and early, so not too bad. And again, into this next corner, it's the little piece of tarmac, or the additional piece of track on the right hand side there. I used the 2 black lines on the track as my braking reference, and you really want to throw the car in here with quite a lot of speed and just let the back end rotate. Get on the power nice and early. The Ferrari has loads and loads of traction, so you shouldn't have too many worries of getting some wheel spin and spinning out, but you know, something definitely to be aware of. We're onto the banking now as we take the run down to the bus stop chicane. It's all about top end here, all about slipstreaming. Do not try to go side by side with another car through the chicane. If they have the inside and you are nowhere near to go for the move, just yield. You're just going to end up off the track and yeah, race over at that point. But you're looking for the 2 board, or just beyond that you've got a kind of orange marker on the fence as well, somewhere in between those two as we come into the chicane. And I'm just going to pause it here just to show you just how much of the track limits you can stretch it here. They have been adjusted in recent months. It used to be really strict, it used to be really annoying, the track limits there, but they have been relaxed substantially, so you're not just getting a penalty. Well, getting penalties you're not really sure why. But the lap time at Daytona is all about that bus stop chicane. Absolutely monster those curbs. Carry as much speed as possible through it. and then you carry that speed all the way down to the start finish line here. So I win 54.829, substantially faster than any other lap we've done because we nailed the chicane. We actually went 3 tenths. We gained 3 tenths just because we went through the chicane so fast. But that's this one in a nutshell. I think it'll be enough fun. Disappointed that we've been here before given the amount of tracks and variety out there that we could do. But we'll have fun. We'll live stream it a couple of times, of course. Do join me for them if you can. Hopefully it's been useful in some way, shape or form, this guide and video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.